Alright, this is the last election with this guy, I promise. The 1905 New Zealand general election was held on Wednesday the 6th of December in the general electorates and on Wednesday the 20th of December in the Māori electorates to elect a total of 80 MPs to the 16th session of the New Zealand Parliament. During the 15th Parliament, Seddon and the Liberals continued their reforming agenda. With a massive majority in Parliament, they were able to pass notable laws which established a 48-hour work week as the normal working time for men in factories, as well as laws limiting women and young people in employment to a 45-hour work week. The Workers' Compensation for Accidents Act extended employers' liabilities for accidents to workers to cover all injuries arising out of and in the course of employment. After founding the Department of Public Health in 1901, the Liberals continued to spend big on health, particularly after several scarlet fever outbreaks. The government took a more active role in promoting personal hygiene amongst the public. During this time, Prime Minister Richard Seddon became much more nationalistic in his outlook and rhetoric. He proclaimed New Zealand as God's own country in many of his speeches, a line that is still used today. Seddon wasn't content with New Zealand being a small colony at the bottom of the South Pacific. He had much greater ambitions for his nation and believed he could make New Zealand a major player in the Pacific region. By 1903, New Zealand had annexed the Cook Islands, helping bring to life Seddon's desire to create a miniature empire in the Pacific, which would be part of the wider British Empire. New Zealanders were also gaining their own sense of a New Zealand identity as a British country that also had a unique New Zealand identity. Seddon began spearheading demands for Britain to grant New Zealand Dominion status. However, the British government was slow in getting back to him on that. Back home, Seddon faced challenges within his own party. Some more progressive members of the Liberals felt that Seddon was becoming too right-wing and was betraying the Liberals' left-wing progressive values. Many wanted the Treasurer, Joseph Ward, to challenge Seddon for the leadership of the party. However, Ward refused. The progressive Liberals faced an uphill battle as Seddon had many allies in the party and was also incredibly popular amongst the public. Only a few months before the election, a handful of Liberal MPs and a raft of supporters announced the formation of a new political party called the New Liberal Party. Very creative, guys. Liberal MP for the seat of Littleton, George Lawrenson, was chosen as the new leader of the New Liberals. The Conservatives, like they had been since they lost power in 1890, were still in disarray. This time, however, they actually had someone to lead them into an election. In September 1903, the Tory caucus elected William Massey as their leader. Massey was an Ulsterman and an MP from the rural South Auckland seat of Franklin. He found leading the group of independent Conservatives difficult and had failed to convince them to create an official party. Parliament was dissolved on October 30th, 1905 by the new governor, Lord Plunkett. This election was not like the traditional battles between the Liberals and the Conservatives, but rather Liberals v Liberals. Political ideology and foreign policy was the issue of the day. Seddon campaigned on a New Zealand nationalism and the creation of an empire in the South Pacific. Lawrenson said a more progressive way forward was what the country needed. Interesting enough, Lawrenson and other New Liberals also favoured federation with Australia, marking a stark difference between the two parties. The biggest campaign fiasco was when some New Liberal MPs, without consultation with Lawrenson or other leadership members, attacked Seddon's son, Thomas Seddon. The so-called voucher incident, where New Liberal MPs alleged that Tom Seddon received payment from a government department for work he had not done. The allegations were disproven, and the New Liberals suffered a considerable public backlash. Many supporters and even candidates left the party in disgust. And the winner was... surprise, surprise, King Dick did it again. The Liberals won a whopping 58 seats, a record of that time, picking up 16 seats and 53.1% of the vote. In second were the Tories, who lost 5 seats to hold a miserable 16 seats out of the 80 seats in Parliament, and won only 29.7% of the vote. In third place was the New Liberals, who at the dissolution of Parliament had 4 seats, but now lost 2 to hold 2 seats in the House and 3.8% of the vote. After the election, George Lawrenson resigned the leadership, and New Liberal MP for the seat of Wellington Central, Frank Fisher, was chosen as the New Liberals' new leader. Liberal MP Sir Arthur Guinness was re-elected as Speaker of the House of Representatives. After winning his 5th consecutive victory, Dick Seddon would gain the record of most election victories as a party leader in New Zealand history, a title he still holds today. Thanks for watching, and come back next time for the election of 1908.